Good afternoon, everybody. It is Wednesday, January 25th. Hope you're doing well. I'm going to get started with the before market close video, market update, and we'll dive into any ticker requests. If anybody does have any, just let me know. I was out the last couple of days, but back at it, so we'll resume live streams today and the rest of the week. But taking a look at the crypto space at the moment, we're in very strong 15-minute uptrends. Bitcoin's still confirming its daily bull flag target of about 25.5, so 25,500 is the level that we can be expecting. And we actually have another daily bull flag that's forming within a bull flag. So if we just bring up Binance here, you can see here we had this larger bull flag. Now we have another smaller bull flag within a larger bull flag. So as long as 22,202 holds, it is another potential daily bull flag continuation. And that lines up even more, gives us even more confidence to the fact that we could see the mid 25,000s, which again, it is targeting that level. So I would not be surprised at all if we targeted 25,000 over the next few days and then potentially see a pretty sizable pullback from there. It's probably going to be our temporary top because we don't have any support on the weekly time frame now, all the way down to about 16,283. So from current levels, we could pull back roughly 28 to 30% and still be in a weekly uptrend with the low, high, higher low, and higher high. Anything over 16,283 would just be a higher low on the weekly time frame. But more than likely going to start weekly consolidation over the next 1 to 2 weeks. Could it happen this week? It's possible. We would need to lose 20,407. Stranger things have happened. That means we would have to lose from current levels. We'd have to lose about 11% to start weekly consolidation. So we could still see an EMA 12 and 26 bull cross as well, which insinuates more upside. If I had to guess, I would say more than likely they're going to just continue the FOMO. We're going to target around that 25K level, and people are going to FOMO in at the wrong time, and then they're going to buy the temporary top, and then we're going to get that weekly consolidation that we were looking for in the weekly pullback that we know is inevitable. And then more than likely see weekly consolidation into next week. But we'll continue to keep an eye on it. Bitcoin dominance continuing to rise as well. So Filecoin, Ape, and NDA leading the bull list today. On the bear list, we have HP, Hex, and BIGG. And on the Bitcoin chart as well, monthly bounce is underway. So when we do top out on this monthly bounce, we've got 6 days left in this monthly candle. So we'll want to try to create as much room as possible for those bulls to form a higher low and then a higher high, because we know that we need to confirm a monthly uptrend to be confident that we're going to be seeing some sustained moves to the upside, right? SPY reclaiming 400 again. So daily consolidation had begun today. It was multiple daily inside bars that broke bearish. So it was a tightening range, and then the key level to be watching was 397.64 today. You could have went short as well, knowing that we had no support all the way down to about 387.26. So once we lost the low of yesterday, we dropped about 1.1%. So if you're looking at a name like SPXS, which is an inverse, we should see about 3 to 5% exactly. So we saw about 5% today. So not a bad short opportunity on the S&P 500 once we did start daily consolidation. But the most important factor right now is we're still in a daily uptrend. We have the low, high, higher low, and higher high, higher low and higher high, higher low and higher high. So very, very strong uptrend still intact on the S&P 500. As long as we hold 387.26, the daily uptrend remains intact. Unless we form a lower high and lower low and confirm a downtrend. But at the moment, we have higher lows and higher highs. So no major red flags whatsoever. One thing that we could potentially spot here and expect is an EMA 12 and 26 bear cross on the S&P 500. Watch for that to potentially mark weekly consolidation. Speaking of EMAs, we could see an EMA 12 and 26 bull cross though on the weekly time frame. But again, we are at risk of a downtrend here as well. So we have the high, low, lower high, and lower low. So if we get the lower high and lower low follow through, so if we lose 374.77 on this weekly time frame, then that would confirm weekly downtrend. But keep in mind that we could still see a bull cross on those EMAs, so we could still see a bit more strength before we roll over. And but like I said, we got about 6 days left in this monthly candle, and it's very, very crucial at this moment in time because we could be heading to monthly oversold, or we could see a pretty big relief rally, and we could see the dollar break down even further. there's a few scenarios that could play, right? We could continue to go flat, we could go up, or we could go down, right? There's one of three directions. So we're going to continue to watch the dollar chart, the DXY. That's going to be extremely important as well. You can see here, after losing EMA 12 in the monthly time frame, I said that we were more than likely targeting EMA 26 since we closed below the EMA 12 there on the last monthly candle at the low. And then sure enough, here we are very, very close to that EMA 26 at 100. We also have weekly support there at 101.29. So very close to weekly oversold. I think a flush of 100 would put us right around oversold on the weekly time frame. So maybe 98 to 99 on the DXY would mark us weekly oversold, and then we could likely expect a pretty big relief rally on the dollar, which would put a temporary pause on the rally in stocks and crypto. But like I said, on the monthly time frame, what we're going to be watching for is a trend change on the dollar. So if DXY confirms a weekly uptrend, that's going to be very, very notable, right? Because if it confirms a change of trend and confirms a weekly uptrend, that means that we're more than likely going to get monthly consolidation on the S&P 500 and the crypto space. So we'll be watching the DXY very, very closely. That's going to be our key indicator going forward. And obviously the weekly uptrend on SPY and then monthly consolidation. So all of these clues can help us identify what to potentially expect, right? We don't know. No one has a crystal ball. It can go up, down, sideways. But the more we learn, the more we watch the charts day by day, the more information that we get, and the more clues that we get, the more confluence, the more confident we are in any particular outcome in either direction, right? So at the moment, the most important thing for me is the monthly chart on SPY and the DXY on the weekly time frame. If we can get a change in trend on the DXY, that's going to be temporary and short-term to medium-term bearish for stocks and crypto. And if we get monthly consolidation on SPY, that'll just be healthy in my opinion, but we have quite a bit of room to form that monthly higher low because, again, we need to confirm monthly uptrends. Doesn't mean we can't, continue to go higher from here, but we're going to have more confidence in the trend being our friend, right? So if we can confirm a monthly uptrend, that's going to give us even more, not just us, but that's going to give people who are sitting on the sidelines, cash who are just unsure, people who are unsure what to do with cash on the side, they're going to feel more comfortable buying into a trend, right? And we were talking about this today. It could be an inverse head and shoulders, right? Which I already drew out there. But we still have yet to start the right shoulder. We have our left, right? We had that consolidation. We lost the low, then we started the bounce. Then we lost the low. We created a head, right? So we have the left shoulder, head. We just don't have the right shoulder yet because we haven't lost the low of the previous monthly candle. So once we lose the low of the previous monthly candle, we'll start monthly consolidation. Consolidation just means we're losing the low of the previous candle and we're pulling back. And then we'll look for a potential right shoulder to form, but wouldn't want to see us lose around 359. If we lose 359, that's going to decrease the odds of an inverse head and shoulders, and it's going to increase the odds that we just see another lower low and monthly downtrend continuation. We'd have to break 428 to break the monthly downtrend from here. So if we just keep moving and we don't start monthly consolidation, we continue to bounce on the monthly. Right now it's a monthly inside bar, so key resistance is going to be high of last month at 408.61. If we break that resistance, we continue the monthly bounce, and it's all about 428. I doubt we would break above 428 without changing the monthly trend. But if we did, then we would no longer be in a monthly downtrend. So that's scenario number one. Scenario number two would be that we just form a lower high here and we break support at 374.77, which is this inside bar. That would insinuate monthly consolidation, and then we would look for a higher low compared to 346.52. And we could still see an EMA 12 and 26 bull cross on the S&P 500 as well on the monthly time frame, which usually means more downside. But again, watch for monthly consolidation over the next. It's hard to say. I don't think it'll happen this month with 6 days left in the month, but anything's possible, right? We have the weekend coming up as well, so realistically, be Wednesday next week, so about a week from today. It's going to be an interesting couple of weeks ahead. Then we'll see if we can get that monthly trend change into next month. But again, something that we'll be watching for as well is Congress being banned from owning stocks to potentially mark a top in this rally, right? And then potentially entering a massive bear market, which we could potentially see the dot-com fractal play out even further, and we could expect something like this. But I wouldn't be surprised, like I said, if we did deviate from that .com fractal, just because of the fact that we have so much manipulation, so much money printing, and the Fed artificially propping up the market, which we didn't have in the .com era. So all about DXY and the monthly chart on SPY. Tesla reporting earnings today after the bell. In terms of estimates, like I said, 24.669 billion for revenue, and EPS is forecasted at positive 1.127. So we'll see. We're potentially set to close with an indecision candle. We were at the high of the day, but we're coming back toward the middle of today's range, so we could see a bit of an indecision doji, and we'll see which way we break from the reaction. But we could still see an EMA 12 and 26 bull cross on the daily time frame, and we have no daily resistance all the way up to 182.50. And like I said, we had that inverse head and shoulders here that confirmed, similar to what SPY is looking to do on the monthly time frame. And then we had a strong daily uptrend. We had the low, high, higher low and higher high, higher low and higher high. So very similar to SPY at the moment. So that's what we want to see on these uptrends, right? We just higher low and higher high, higher low and higher high, higher low and higher high, and establishing that support on the way up. So key support on the Tesla is going to be 124.31. If we lose 124.31, we lose the daily uptrend. Or again, if we confirm a daily downtrend with a lower high and lower low, then we would obviously lose the uptrend. But at the moment, it is favoring more upside. So I wouldn't be surprised if we did have a bullish reaction. If we can close closer to the high of the day today as well, that's going to increase the odds that we see a bullish result, and we could still see quite a bit of upside here on the daily time frame on the RSI before we touch overbought territory. Starting to see some increase in bull volume as well, so I'd like to see the volume ramp up here into end of day with only 17 minutes left in the day. It's hard to say. I'd say we get pretty close to a 7-day high volume, maybe even 14-day high. So we'll see what comes in here last minute, and we'll continue to watch this one after the bell. Microsoft reported yesterday pretty much a nothing burger. They did miss on revenue slightly, and they beat on EPS. I think it was. Yeah, so just slight miss on revs and beat on EPS. But started daily consolidation today, still holding a perfect double bottom, actually. 230.68, and we had 230.90. So that was a nice, great double bottom opportunity there off that low. That's about almost a 5.5% bounce. So held the daily uptrend with the low, high, higher low, and higher high, double bottom. So that's new key support going forward for Microsoft, 230. Lose that, and then we get a pretty big momentum shift. And then we'll zoom out to the weekly time frame, and we'll look for potential weekly consolidation to start and be underway. So all eyes on Tesla after the bell today. In terms of bull and bears, we have CWeb, DPro, and Snap leading the decline today. On the bullish, we have Shop, WNW, and NEXE. So who else reports earnings this week? I think that was pretty much the main ones. We've got IBM after the bell as well. Not as worried about that one, but there'll definitely be some eyes on that. What else do we got here? We got MasterCard tomorrow morning, Intel, Visa after the bell tomorrow, and American Express on Friday. So I would expect there'd probably be a continuation of earnings next week. Big tech earnings. All right, jumping over into the MJ space. So in the bull and bear list in Canada, we have PCLO, VFF, and Labs leading the decline. On the bull list today, we have PWR, Love, and NXTTF. Love seeing a decent move off of its lows. So we hit 8.5 cents, and from the low there, up about 30%. No shortage of good deals out there lately. But Hexo, taking a look at Hexo, so we've been seeing some volatility. Hexo off of the lows there at 90 cents USD, now up almost 100%. So I was adding more and more on the way down. I added quite a bit. Added to my TFSA since we had that new contribution room. I did get some under $1, so that purchase that I made looking really good. And like I said, just imagine if Hexo were to go back to even February 2021 highs, right? If we just go back to the highs of where we were a couple of years ago, I mean, just imagine. That's 166x, right? So that's $1,000. If you put $1,000 into Hexo when it was at 90 cents, and if we just go back to the highs of, well, it'll be 2 years next month. If we just go back to those highs, that's $1,000 investment into $166,000. So for every $1,000 invested, essentially $160,000. So how many of those would you need to really, change your life, right? So that's why I've been slowly averaging down, right? Who cares? Even if you're only getting, $500, you can only put in $100, right? You put in $100, that's about $100 into $16,000, right? If we just go back to February 2021 highs. If we go back to all-time highs, that's 500x, right? So $1,000 into $500,000. So those are some risk to rewards that I'll take. And I'll continue to dollar cost average, but I'm not planning on adding any more Hexo. The only way I would add Hexo is if we drop to another lower low below 90 cents. And that would put our market cap at insane valuations. So I really disbelieve that. I don't believe that that's going to happen. So I'm pretty much loaded up on Hexo. But we will expect weekly consolidation at some point soon. We are still in a weekly downtrend, but this is great. We've got quite a bit of room now to form this weekly higher low and attempt a weekly trend change. So we were bouncing for 2 weeks in a row. Then we had a weekly inside bar. Then we broke bullish. So now we have 3 weeks out of the last 4 that we're bouncing. So once we do lose the low of the previous weekly candle, so right now it's 127, the low of last week. If that holds this week, so if we close the weekly candle above that and we don't lose that level, then we'll be looking at the low this week as the new important go forward key support. So 148, let's say, the low of this week, let's say that is the new low at the beginning of next week. That'll be the level to be watching. And if we lose 148, we start weekly consolidation. Then we'll just look for a higher low and then a higher high, and then we'll zoom out to the monthly, watch for the monthly bounce to get underway, and then we'll do the same thing there. And like I mentioned, I think it was a couple weeks ago now, that I don't think that we're going to have the monthly bounce this month because of how much ground we had to gain, right? We had to break above 263 to start the monthly bounce, and the high of this month is 178. So we're still, from the high of this month, we're about 50% away. So that means we would need to jump another 50% to even start the monthly bounce. And that's going to be very, very strong resistance. We do have all-time high record monthly volume, like I said, weekly, daily. So it's looking good. Volume usually precedes price. So this is looking very indicative of a potential capitulation and volume climax here on the bottom as we look to a potential reversal long-term. And we could be entering a new bull market. So like I said, Hexo, more than likely going to be 6 days left. So more than likely going to be, after today, we only have 4 trading days left. So more than likely going to be next month that we break the high of this month candle, right? It's a monthly inside bar. So what I could potentially foresee happening is another monthly inside bar tightening up on the monthly time frame. Then we get a break next month is what I would be looking for. And then we'll start the monthly bounce. And then again, we'll look for a higher low and higher high. But again, we'll just start with each time frame at a time. We're in a very strong daily uptrend. The low, high, higher low, and higher high, higher low, and higher high. Daily bull flag targeted, 142 hit. And now anything under this daily consolidation here over 107 was just a daily higher low. We formed a higher low at 127. The higher low is indicated being set by the change in the hourly uptrend. So if we zoom into the hourly chart, you can see here that we lost the hourly uptrend. We had the lower high and lower low, lower high and lower low, and then we changed the hourly trend back to the bulls. We had the low, high, higher low, and higher high. Once we confirmed that higher high, that right here indicated the hourly uptrend being confirmed, which meant that our daily higher low was now set, and that we were likely heading up towards resistances, and that's exactly what we got, right? And we could still see an EMA 12 and 26 bull cross, meaning more upside. Still nowhere near daily overbought either, as I mentioned. So daily inside bar, tightening range today. So key resistance at 178, support at 151. If we lose 151, we start daily consolidation. We look for a higher low compared to 127. As long as 127 holds, we're still in a daily uptrend. So again, daily uptrend, very, very strong, still intact. Then we'll look for weekly consolidation to begin. Once that happens, it'll just be healthy. And we'll look for a higher low compared to the low there at 90 cents. And then we'll look for the higher high and follow through on the weekly uptrend confirmation. So don't be surprised. We could easily fall almost 45% from current levels on Hexo and just be looking for and scouting a weekly higher low. So don't be surprised if we do pull back, 10, 20% on Hexo and start weekly consolidation. That'll be just healthy in my opinion. CGC started weekly consolidation 2 weeks ago. So it is, we have the low, high, higher low, and higher high. So it's back in a weekly uptrend, but a little bit of a clue that we could potentially see that spill over into Hexo as well. And same with Tilray. So Tilray, you can see here it lost the low. So that goes to show you that Hexo definitely is a little bit more strong at the moment just because of the amount of buying pressure and the move we've seen there off the bottom, right? Almost 100%. We take a look at CGC off its low there in the recent few weeks. It's up 35%-ish. So not even close to Hexo gains. And then Tilray up 33%. So again, because Hexo has been beaten down, because there was a catalyst, because it regained NASDAQ compliance, there was all of those things creating a nice trade opportunity. MSOS continues to be weak, starting weekly consolidation already. So this is a bit of a clue that we could see this in Canadian MJ. And we are potentially set to confirm the bear flag, which is a target of about 527. And in order to confirm, we need to lose 636. We hit 640 today. So very close. 4 pennies away from confirming the bear flag. Like I said, we'll be targeting about 527. In terms of bull and bear list today, on the US side, we have CWEB, BAM, and TCNNF. And on the bull list, we have FIT, LOWL, and BEV. So we've, again, been seeing USMJ continue to be weak and not looking good, losing the low of the previous weekly candle. Again, that increases the odds that we could potentially see weekly consolidation in Canadian MJ. And with the S&P 500 due for monthly consolidation and a potential weekly downtrend forming, it's not looking too good. But like I said, if we do get monthly consolidation on SPY and we get a relief rally in the dollar, we get a change in trend on the dollar, either be the daily or the weekly time frame. If we confirm a daily uptrend on DXY, the dollar, or a weekly uptrend, that's going to create short-term headwinds for stocks and crypto. It'll just allow an opportunity for healthy consolidation. At that point, we'll expect potential monthly consolidation on SPY, and at that point, we'll expect weekly consolidation on Hexo and some of our MJ names in Canada. And like I said, US MJ already starting weekly consolidation, so a bit weaker. And almost new lows here on the monthly time frame as well, which would put us at new all-time lows and 52-week lows. Continue to struggle though. Trulieve down almost 5% today, breaking to a monthly lower low. And support there at 810, which is the low of March COVID-19 lows, and the low is 838 so far. So getting very, very close, given that whole move back, right, all the way from 810 to 67.45, right? What happened to the poster childs and the MSO gang, right? They're nowhere to be found because they just realized that, oh, Mr. Market humbled me, and maybe it's not just Canadian MJ, maybe it's the whole sector moves together, right? And here we are down almost 90%, 87.5%, and continues to struggle. Trulieve down 5%. So let's look at Trulieve over the last few weeks. So Hexo over the last 5 weeks is up 100%, and Trulieve over the last 5 weeks is down almost 23%, right? So how many people sold Hexo, got scared and shaken out of their positions? How many people bought Hexo and said, look at all these LPs, this is a joke, down 96%, 99% from February 2021 or all-time highs. I'm going to buy, American MJ. And then they go over and they buy Trulieve, and here we are. They sell at a loss. Then Hexo runs 100%, and then they buy something like Trulieve, and then Trulieve's down almost 30% in that same time period, right? So that's the trouble of switching in and out of positions, making decisions on the fly, right? This is why I diversify. I buy positions and I hold them. I don't switch to buy something else, right? And I said for a while now that the whole sector moves together, and from February 21 all-time highs, we were down only 80. 70, 80%. I said, don't be surprised if we get close to 90% on some of our US MJ and we follow Canadian MJ. And then sure enough, Canadian MJ was down 96%, right? A lot more. And then because it was beaten down so much, it's attracting more attention, right? And buying pressure. And then we're just starting to see US MJ as a laggard, right? So that's why I own US MJ, but I've been focusing more on the Canadian LPs because I figured that they would be closer to a bottom, whereas USMJ may still have a little bit more of a bottom to be set and a little bit more downside to go, right? So that's why I was focusing more on LPs. But again, once we start to see uplisting on a lot of our USMJ, then I'll start to focus more on USMJ, right? But as of right now, I'm focusing on the major bargains and mega caps right now that are listed on US major exchanges like the NASDAQ. Not looking good right now for USMJ. All right, not seeing any ticker requests, just checking in on the news. Not a whole lot going on in terms of news today. We do have some macroeconomic data coming up soon, so we'll continue to watch for volatility there. And like I said, we have Tesla earnings today after the bell. So all eyes on Tesla here. Should get their results in the next few minutes. But not going to stay here and go over those because it could be 10, 15 minutes. Don't want to just sit around waiting. So we'll touch base with everybody in the chat room there in a few minutes. And we'll give an update on Tesla. We'll see if whether or not they miss in terms of analyst estimates on EPS and revenue. But the trend right now is mixed bag. Microsoft missed on revenue and beat on EPS. We'll see if that can translate to something similar into Tesla. But all eyes on Tesla, no doubt, here after market close. And SPY trying to close near the high of the day. And same with Tesla. So favoring a bit of definitely favoring the bulls here at the moment. All right, going to end it there. See everybody in the chat room in a few minutes. Have a great night. Talk to you soon.